Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Battlefield 6 just dropped another update after the launch of Season 4, but unlike the substantial initial Season 4 release, this one's mostly focused on quality of life improvements. So if you're new to the channel, we like to focus on a shorter, consolidated summary on what changes are going to make the biggest impact on casual players, or those of us who only get a few hours to play a week. So instead of wasting time reading all the patch notes, I try to summarize them here. Today I'm going to break down what matters, what you probably won't even notice, and whether this update actually improves the game for casual players. So let's jump into it. The biggest takeaway from this update isn't new content, it's polish. DICE spent this patch fixing a bunch of little annoyances that happen dozens of times every match. First, deploying into a match should feel faster. Soldier models, your HUD, and your UI now load in more quickly after spawning. This sounds minor, but anything that gets you back into the action faster is definitely a win. They also cleaned up a few aiming issues. If you ever notice your crosshair briefly duplicating while aiming down sight, that's gone. And if you like running sniper rifles outside of recon, transitioning into ADS while suppressed should now feel smoother. Water gameplay also received another small polish pass. Soldiers no longer randomly play falling animations after stepping into the shallow water. Again, that's not game changing, but it's just another little improvement that makes the game feel a bit more polished. The next major change has to do with stability. So one thing I really like seeing is that they're continuing to fix stability issues instead of just only adding new content. If you're on PC using a certain NVIDIA graphics card, there was a nasty crash that could happen while changing attachments or playing maps with lots of water, so that should now be fixed. Super Reef also received a few welcome fixes. Players now spawn correctly during the breakthrough insertion sequence, and one nasty visual bug that caused intense flashing near Objective C has been corrected. And those are exactly the kind of issues you want to see fixed early on in the season. So there are also a handful of small gameplay fixes that most casual players probably won't even notice individually, but together they do help make the game feel a bit more consistent. So I won't go into details, but just to list them briefly, essentially tank shells behave correctly, thermal smoke damaging enemies properly, railway pylons rendering correctly for pilots, players no longer getting stuck in walls, and various other portal fixes. So none of these are headline features, but I'd much rather see the developers cleaning up these bugs than rushing out additional content or other weapons in the meantime. So overall, does this update actually matter? I'd say definitely yes, but probably not in the way you'd usually expect. You're probably not going to log in tonight and immediately think, wow, this feels like a completely different game. Instead, this is the kind of update that slowly improves the overall experience. Menus are cleaner, deployment is faster, spawning works better, maps are more stable, the visual glitches are starting to disappear. It's, really incremental changes, which in my opinion should have been here at the start of the game, but it is good to see that they're starting to finally address some of these. So overall, I think this is exactly the kind of update we definitely need to see happen quicker and quicker with each season. So these large updates are inherently going to cause issues, but we need these quick hot fixes as soon as possible each season. There isn't anything flashy here, but there also aren't any balance changes that suddenly force everyone to relearn the game. Instead, DICE is focused on making what we already have work better. So for casual players, that's honestly a good thing. If they keep stacking up updates like this while adding more content for the next few months, Season 4 could end up being in a really good place finally. But what do you think? How are you feeling about the overall state of the game and all these different hot fixes that are continuously coming out? Have you actually noticed any of these changes while playing, or has the game felt pretty much the same? Let me know down in the comments, and if this breakdown saved you from reading through the pages of patch notes, consider leaving a like, subscribing if you want to see more. I make Battlefield 6 guides and updates specifically for casual players who only get a few hours a week to play. So thanks for watching, be sure to spread some positivity, and I'll see you in the next one.
Let's move!